Welcome back to the channel, guys. Midsummer update here. We've been super busy. It's hard to get a whole lot out or even get a whole lot of video processed. So I would like to thank all of the new subscribers we've accumulated over the last vacation period. We haven't really uploaded much or done a whole lot on the channel. So big thank you to everyone who is subscribing and following along with everything we're doing. We've got a new member to the family, our little rescue farm dog here. Her name is Honey. She's already scratched up her forehead. She's rough and tough. So I hope everybody's finding success with their gardens and all their gardening. We're having a good day out here today. Nice breezy day. It's been brutally hot outside, so a nice cool day is very enjoyable. We're getting a lot of work done. We've got a lot of plants outside the small greenhouse. You can see our fig tree here. A little damage in the storm, but we've got figs popping off all up and down as I can see. Several figs there. Wild cat checking out all the plants here. Lots and lots of plants coming up outside the greenhouse. All these get transplanted out, stay out here, and then we take them down to the big greenhouse. So we keep everything down in the big greenhouse in order to keep all of it safe from all the little pesky critters we've got in the yard here.
Even this one.
Yeah, she's a terrorizer for sure. So we're gonna come up in the greenhouse here. I'm trying to manage with the dog grabbing my hay dudes here. So we're out in the little greenhouse. It is nice and calm out here. Very chill. Love this little greenhouse. There's a lot going on always, just kind of mulling over. Without this greenhouse, I would not have gotten any of these blackberries to actually survive. A lot of these blackberries are doing well. You can see some dieback, but lots of regrowth from them. So with the 90-degree drought we've had, keeping everything in the shady greenhouse is a must. Lots and lots of house plants and stuff that my wife likes selling out on the market here. Major house plant sales out there. So we've got all of these hostas, and I've been wrapping these up in all of our old ace bags. So this is just ace bags that we harvested all those free leaves in, and I threw all of these in the fridge for about a week and a half or so. And these had some roots, and the roots don't really look that good. They kind of look dried out and spongy. I mean, they will rebound, but I thought putting them in the fridge and keeping them really wet and damp in the fridge would do a lot for them, but it's very slow in the fridge. So kind of testing it out. We've got all these hostas that I had just popped up the other day. So looks like I got an elderberry in there also. So we've got all these little hostas, and you can see brand new root growth off some of them, and then little nodes popping on the bottom of the others. So all of these are going to get transplanted out. I want to put these around our little pond, and that is where all of our guppies have went. If you notice, there's no fish down in the aquaponics here. So all of this aquaponics water has really been cranking out all of these roots. So these hostas are about 2 weeks in the water. So getting these in and just letting them sit makes a major difference. These roots are super developed. This is very quick growth for these plants. I'm just using the hosta for a generic example here, and we've got all of this very well developed root growth on all of these stalks. And I showed the 1 week little roots there for a side note. So after another week, those would be as about developed as all of these are. These may have had one little root developed like this dark one, but all of the new white roots are actually new growth. So they are searching for a good stable place in all these rocks that are shifting, and the water really enables them. We're going to be transplanting all of these hostas up. You can see all that major root growth. We're going to be throwing those down. All of those are going out and going to be transplanted. We just didn't want to do it when we had a major drought. We literally had a 1/4 inch of rain for like 2 months or something like that. So it was very severe. We got moved to moderate drought conditions, which we're not used to. So seeing it look like a dust bowl around here for about a month was very scary. So I had all of the perennial stuff in the ground, and all of our trees created good shade, and everything was very successful so far. A lot of our quick crops like radishes and stuff have bolted, but other than that, we've had pretty decent success selling and growing, and all of our crops have survived the drought conditions. So having this little bit of water and being able to propagate many free plants out of this water. We've got little cuttings of basil, just a little piece that is snipped off, little roots on her there. very, very simple to do. So I just fill this absolutely as full as I can, and I've been pulling all these plants out recently. So this little stick that I'm holding here is actually some feverfew. So this is feverfew, the medicine herb. So this is actually something you'll take when you have a fever or when you are sick or feverish. So I am growing that for ourselves to transplant out and make a larger patch of that. We've got little elderberries. You can see little nodes coming off there. We've got pear trees in the back there, and we've got mulberry trees, all types of stuff coming out of the little box here. I just pull all types of stuff and I transplant it all over, and we're trying to continually plant. But sometimes I get sidetracked, and sometimes I pull things out and I intend to plant them, but the weather doesn't really allow me. So like I said, the drought, it makes it so I don't want to put something that was in water or something that was freshly pulled out or cut and rooted right into dry ground under the baking sun, 90, 100 degrees. So it really, really pays to take the care and time. Start your plants out right, harden them off, give them a nice shady environment, and let them get well established before you send them out to be transplanted into the ground. This really is just a micro little solar DIY setup. We have this small solar box, and you can see it is running right now. So that is just running. Everything kind of looks all beat up because all of this was very full, and I had everything stuck in there and all these hostas in there with it, and I've been pulling everything out. We've got all these little parsley that were dried out, some of our spicy basil or something. Yeah, just lots of stuff that is just all forgotten about and overgrown, and it's been in here too long. I've actually got this little bulb of a coneflower or echinacea, and it's starting to flower. This little guy is maybe 6 inches long or something like that. So that is really wild to see stuff like that. If you guys haven't noticed, it may sound a little different. Hopefully it sounds better. I have got myself a small little microphone, so hopefully we're getting better quality on the audio and video, hopefully too, because we're using a better camera. So hopefully we are getting a better all-around video. Back on topic, we are taking advantage of all of the undifferentiated cells contained in the bases of the nodes, like on some of our elderberries here. You can see those little nodes. It's growing both. It's got root development and it's got vegetation. So that is undifferentiated cells at its finest. And those same undifferentiated cells are contained in the skin of other plants like basil. Basil doesn't always need a node to grow. You can just put a stick of it and it might just throw a random little root off anywhere. So there's no telling on some plants. Because when we think of it, those cells are contained all throughout the plant. And I like to think of it like stem cells for a human. Basically a cell that is able to be pulled and turned into whatever is needed. So you're either going to need a root or you're going to need more vegetation growth. So you're putting it to one use or the other use. So thinking of it like that, you're really not having to go through the whole process of planting seeds. We obtain certain plants and we will have them for a very long time, if not forever. And we only purchase plants maybe one time. That being said, I really just like to share with everybody how I'm getting all of these propagated. And I've got this little pear tree here. I've got this mulberry tree. Those are probably 2-3 year plants. We dug them down as possibly far as we could down so we didn't hurt the roots, and we dug them up out of our chicken run so we could transplant them to a different area. This is a very simple setup that anybody can be doing with the little bins here. I've shown many times how to set all of this up, how to get it going with solar power, and it's even easier if you have electricity. You just plug everything in, got your pump, and it's ready to go. So a major factor in the actual aquaponics itself are the medium you use. We like these clay pebbles because they have a very good surface area, and that surface area and all the little gaps and porousness allows a good microbiology to form. You're getting all the bacteria, all the microbiological life that is going to allow good development. So I thought I would share a well-established system. Oh, I gotta get up. This has been a couple years in the making. We've had this up for quite a few years now, at least 5 years. So we've changed the water out, obviously, but this water has been running from last season. So I wanted to get down there, clean my pump, and get all of this cleaned out before we actually hit winter again, because right now this water is from our compost heater, and all of that water is running through our compost still non-active compost, so it's running through the floor and coming back out. And this water actually is probably about 50-60 degrees. I apologize, I don't have a thermometer, but that water feels ice cold down there because it's running through about 3 feet of compost above it. So we're having that compost insulated. It's like a reverse John Payne system because I'm using all the compost as geothermal. There goes my baby dog. That's here in the background. She's a monster. All the compost we have sitting on the hose and all of the water running through it is definitely getting cooled down, and it's acting like a nice thermal barrier or a geothermal barrier. And we're drawing all that cold water into our greenhouse still, and it's slowly filling this up, keeping our plants and roots nice and cool while draining into the bottom overflow tank, and it's running through the floor like I said, so we're getting double use on this. So I really just wanted to come share the overall setup of what I'm doing and all of the plants and how it's looking and how much better they look. Like, these were sitting in water. They were soaking in water in the cardboard. They didn't like that very much. The ones that were sitting in the water in the rocks are just going crazy. All of these were picked and they look just like this. They were basically popped all right off at the top. So the hostas would still grow from the ground, but we can grow a new hosta from what we picked off. So all of those are what these looked like. So that is why I am so amazed with it, and I thought I would share with everybody. So we really just wanted to come out here and test all of our new equipment here, and it's not top of the line by any means, but we wanted to see what kind of video we could get. This little rescue baby, we are having a good time with her. She's going to have a lot of fun on the homestead. She's got herself a little spot. She was finding some voles or something down here, so little baby is busy.
Oh, and she's going to grow up and turn into a big dog.
Thank everybody for watching again. I really appreciate all the new subscribers. We've been so busy, still trying to get stuff out, still trying to share. So I thought this was a rather interesting one. Everybody really likes the solar aquaponics, so I wanted to share everything we had going on with it. It looks kind of bland and boring as is, but there is a lot going on with it, and there's a lot coming out of it. So stay tuned. We will be bringing updates down from the large greenhouse, dispersing all of our large John Payne compost because we are still having to get rid of all of that. We've got lots and lots of compost still to disperse. So we've got to get all of that reallocated all across our whole entire property to all of our plants so we can get it set up for the next winter's heating session. We've got to get all of that built. We're going to do a nice large John Payne heater. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see everybody next time.